Hi there, Keith here with another video blog. Again, I'll be the first person to say I don't tend to watch a ton of television, but I did want to point out 5 shows that I really like. Some of them might surprise you, some of them you might agree with, and some of them you might say, you actually watch that? But here goes. Number 5 would be Suits. Suits is a show that is shot in Toronto, but is set in New York. It premiered about 2 seasons ago, and the premise of the show was you had a young man who could remember absolutely anything. He could pick up a book, read a paragraph from it, and memorize it for the rest of his life. He conned his way pretty much through life, and then he had the opportunity to go and work at a law firm. He works at a law firm with a closer by the name of Harvey Specter, and the two of them together are closing cases all over New York. The reason that I like this show is I like the writing and I like the cast. There are some really great performances on that show, and one that really stands out to me is Sarah Rafferty as her turn as Donna, the secretary. Her quick-witted response definitely make the show must-see TV, and if you have an opportunity, I definitely think that you should check it out. The number 4 show that I absolutely love on television, I've got to say, is Monday Night Raw. Yes, wrestling. Now, I don't get a chance to watch it all the time, but I do PVR it. I'll watch the beginning, I'll go through the middle, and I'll watch the end. It's a 3-hour show every Monday, so it takes a bit of a commitment, and I don't necessarily have all the time to watch a 3-hour show every Monday. I'll tell you why I like this. First of all, I have all the respect in the world for Vince McMahon. For my money, he is the best promoter on the planet. But second of all, you think about it. Is there anybody out there that doesn't know that wrestling's fake? Of course we do. But at the same token, week after week, we're given interested and entertaining storylines that make us forget the day. Some people call it a male soap opera. Maybe it is. To me, it's the most entertaining business. Take this for consideration. UFC, as we all know, has become an extremely popular sport. If you look at the most popular UFC pay-per-view event last year, it had 1 million buys. The most popular WWE pay-per-view, WrestleMania, had 1.3 million buys. And again, we all know wrestling is fake. I also love a lot of the great things that the WWE does off the camera. Things like going and supporting the troops and performing for the troops in Afghanistan, the Smackdown Your Vote campaign to get people to vote, and their anti-bullying campaign I think is absolutely fantastic. I've watched this since I was a little kid. I don't see any stopping in sight. I think it's very entertaining, and again, like I said, it's a nice distraction. Which brings me into number 3. Speaking of soap operas, again, Mike from Vancouver, get ready to feel like you want to dislike me a little more, because number 3 would be Young and the Restless. Absolutely, Young and the Restless is probably one of my favorite shows on television, and has been since I was a little boy. I remember when I was young, one of my first experiences in terms of watching TV with my mom, other than your typical cartoons and that, would probably be Young and the Restless. I can't necessarily say I knew what was going on, but it was a nice little time as I sat on her lap and watched that show. Yes, you could say you could stop watching the show for 6 months and things haven't changed. Probably, but I also respect the soap opera genre. Think of it this way. A lot of the shows that I like go on for 24 episodes or maybe 13 episodes a season. Think about writing a weekly serial day in and day out and keeping the writing crisp and fresh. Sure, some of the storylines are a little silly, like Victor marrying his daughter-in-law, but some of them are somewhat heart-wrenching as well. I like Young and the Restless, and I find it to be an enjoyable show. I don't necessarily think I'm the only guy that likes it. I just might be the only guy crazy enough to stand in front of a camera and admit it. Now, in regards to my top 2 favorite shows, number 2, without a shadow of a doubt, is probably the best comedy on television, Modern Family. And for that, I thank my friend John Milkey for turning me on to that show. John and I were heading out to a football game in Hamilton, and here from Ottawa, and we were in the car for about 6 hours, and we got to talking. He said, "Have you ever seen Modern Family?" "No, I have never heard of it." He's like, "Really, you got to check it out." I went back home and I checked out an episode of it, and now I own every single episode on iTunes. I absolutely love it. Now, a lot can be said for the grown-up acting on that show. Ty Burrell is absolutely hilarious. Eric Stonestreet steals every scene that he's in. But you got to say a lot for the kid actors as well, because I don't think the show would be as fantastic if it wasn't for the kids on that show. Modern Family, again, for my money, the best comedy on television. Which brings us to number 1. But before I tell you about what my favorite show on television is, I've got to tell you about a guy named Rudy. Now, Rudy works at Walmart, not too far from my house. And Rudy is a Walmart greeter. He's very sweet and he's very friendly. I'd probably put him at around mid to late 50s, very jovial, always smiling. He's the type of guy that if you were in the store with your kid, he would probably come up and give the kid a balloon. But because of my interest and my love of my number one favorite show, I sometimes wonder if Rudy's a meth dealer. Of course, I'm talking about Breaking Bad, and of course, I'm talking about the fact that characters on that show aren't always what they seem. Excuse me. Now, Breaking Bad, for those of you not in the know, is the story of Walter White, a high school chemistry teacher who gets cancer and is dying. And as a way to leave a nest egg of money for his family, he starts selling crystal meth. Now, the interesting thing is watching his character develop over the last 5 seasons, which actually takes place in 1 year in Breaking Bad time. During that time, we've watched a man go from very timid and very, very insecure to completely obsessed with the power that he has acquired. Now, when I make reference to Rudy, some of you will know that I'm making reference to Gustavo Fring, the man who worked in a fast food chicken place by day and was very smiley and nice, but was also the biggest crystal meth dealer in the Midwest. This show is absolutely fantastic. It is definitely must-see TV, and it blows my mind. Vince Gilligan, the showrunner of that show, is an absolute genius for all the concepts that he's come up with on that show. Here's a show to me that came out of nowhere. The first episode I saw on a plane heading out to Vancouver. I saw the pilot, and then I came back and I was completely enthralled with it. If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, you are missing the best show on television. What are your favorite shows? I'd love to hear about it. Feel free to message me at CFL_fan on Twitter, or at my Facebook at facebook.com/WhittyWhittier. Maybe it's other shows like Dexter or Boardwalk Empire. Feel free to send me a note and let me know. Thanks for checking this out.